Hi everyone, this is Chief here again. Welcome back for another Transformers review. Haven't done one of these for a while. Reason being is because I've had a chest infection, so I have a nasty cough over the last week, which I'm still suffering from. So if I do cut, it's because I'm having a coughing fit. That's generally where I'm up to. Haven't done any videos, as I said, but I'm off to Prague on Monday. So I'm off there for 3 days, so I thought I might as well try and get a video now. As some people may have seen from my previous video, I went to watch Revenge of the Fallen last night, 24 hours ago. I was in the cinema watching the beauty that is Revenge of the Fallen, and as a person who's a Generation 1 fan who hated the original first movie, I loved it. It's a no-brainer action flick, but the comedy in it, everything about it was just brilliant. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen it already, go out and watch it. If you and ahhing, it's definitely something I'll definitely recommend as this year's must-see. Second thing, this is actually for Pred. I've heard Pred mention he's always on his PlayStation 3 typing away on his control pad. However, I don't know if you've seen one of these, which I picked up. It's a little QWERTY keyboard there, and that actually attaches to your control pad. I'll just do that very quickly. Very easy, just snaps on. Like so. And then you can type away on your PlayStation. Great for viewing YouTube in bed or whatever. Anyway, to the review. I do apologise for not getting the videos out. As I said, I have been ill, so I've tried to avoid doing any continuous talking. But I thought I'd do it on this guy. I wasn't originally going to do the Generation 1 figure, but I just simply couldn't be bothered to get them out of the box because it's away in storage. I will get them out eventually, but this is of course Titanium series Ultra Magnus, which is almost identical to his Generation 1 counterpart in the way of the looks, designs, etc, etc. Main difference being the cab section itself there is all one piece, it's all part of the same transformer. Other than that, colour scheme looks good. Overall look with the front cannon itself there is, almost a direct copy of the Generation 1. However, colour scheme aside, that's where it ends. Now for the bitching part. First of all, this is really loose, so it kind of just wobbles there. None of the wheels, none of the 10 wheels actually touch the ground. So I was really disappointed. I remember when I first saw this figure on the interweb, and I basically came in my pants thinking, God, I've got to get this figure. Rushed out to shops and I saw him on the shelf and I thought, fuck that, I've got to get it. Brought it back home, really disappointed. His arms kind of just float there itself there. If I just simply hold that in there, you can see what I mean. Even if I hold it flat, none of the wheels are actually in line with each other. So you've got parts that are higher than parts than the other. But other than that, as looks-wise, now I won't knock it for its looks. It does look like what it's supposed to be, which is Generation 1 Ultra Magnus. So yeah, that's probably about it really. Transformation-wise, very simple. Simply knock that cab back, it automatically wheels his head, take these missile launchers off, fold these apart there, like so, and they attach to the cab, push those up, and simply fold his legs forward until they get into position. If I can. That's it. so there he is, Ultra Magnus. So I am suffering a bit with the cough. Now, simply just straighten his arms out. And he comes with his little pistol itself. There's a little rifle, which of course there obviously resembles his original Generation 1 rifle, which is obviously viewable in both smaller cab and combined mode. So obviously that can be held in his hand like so. So that's obviously Ultra Magnus. Now, another bitching part. The rocket launchers, which is attached to the sides of his arms, are both identical. So you've got one post there, and both of these have two little holes, which you think, okay, they're obviously going to go to these little posts on one arm and a hole in the other. However, someone screwed up. So what you've got to put these upside down on his arms, like so, and all of them fit, so they are actually upside down. You know, had someone got it the right way around, obviously it looked a lot better, but oops, dropping everything here. As things goes, you know, they have to be stored upside down. He's obviously well articulated for a titanium figure, as you expect. However, my grumbles is, like, for example, if I wanted to twist his arm about, like so, whoops, like so, then his arm will come off. You know, again, if I want to bend his knee at the joint itself there, again, his leg will come off there. So I would say this is definitely a figure to be treated like a bust. It's purely for display purposes only. You can, you know, he comes with a little stand where you can simply have him in his transform mode, in his robot mode, which I do think it looks pretty cool. You know, I'm not going to bitch too much about the figure. I mean, it is Titanium series. I mean, the head sculpt there does look very nice. It's what I expect out of a spin-off figure. I mean, that's essentially what it is. It's a spin-off figure designed purely for aesthetics, for looks, to resemble obviously Generation 1 Ultra Magnus, and he does look good, you know, when you display him in this mode. You know, thankfully he has this mode, otherwise I simply wouldn't have got this figure at all. But as I said, there's no playability in this figure whatsoever. He is purely a display piece, because as I've shown you, you're just going to have bits falling off just trying to pose the figure. He, you know, I said he does have limited movement, and of course, if you get, see again, it doesn't hold the gun very well. It's just pretty much loose in his hand itself there. So as a posable display piece, fantastic. As a figure in your collection to play with, no, definitely not. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I will get the original Generation 1 figure out. I'll just give you a size comparison. I've actually got Ultra Magnus's right fist there, and if I compare that to his fist, you can obviously see a big size difference between the two. So I'm looking forward to getting out Ultra Magnus, as I've not touched him for a while. He's actually a box in his original box, which I do still have, so happy about that. Voice is going already, can feel my throat going. Do excuse me. What was I saying? Yes, do please go out and watch the movie. It was highly entertaining. Worth it for 2 parts. Spoiler coming out. Switch off your speakers right now if you don't want to hear this. But it was worth it just to see Devastator's balls and seeing Wheelie humping Megan Fox's leg. It had, you know, my wife was in tears with laughter. and that's, you know, from coming from a non-Transformers fan. She is, you know, a non-Transformers fan, but she, you know, she thoroughly enjoyed the film. So it's definitely something you can take out, see all the family. Well, not all the family. I think the sexual, drugs and swearing references in it was a bit too much for a young kid anyway. But anyway, that's me coming from my father. So this is Chief, 888 optionals. Logging off. I'll see you when I get back from Prague.